It strikes me often how many lives are lived in the subtle, slow current of reaction. We wake up to the world, not into it. We answer the alarm, we don't command it. We glance at the news, we don't craft our own narrative. And in this gentle surrender, this daily default, we lose something vital, the edge. The profound, undeniable truth is, your future isn't some distant mountain peak you hope to stumble upon. It's built, brick by deliberate brick, in the quiet, often ignored, hours before the world demands anything from you. It's forged in the crucible of discipline before breakfast. Think of it, the moment your eyes open, that first conscious breath, before the digital clamor, before the urgent emails, before the weight of external expectations descends, you have a window, a sacred space, a silent battlefield where the war for your day is either won or lost. Most people treat this hour like an inconvenience, a necessary hurdle to clear before the real day begins. They hit snooze, bargaining for 10 more minutes of fleeting comfort. Unaware, they're trading momentum for mediocrity. They grab their phones like life rafts, plunging immediately into the surging tide of other people's problems and manufactured crises. No direction, no intention, just raw, unthinking reaction. But I tell you, that first hour, those 60 minutes, are not just 60 minutes. They are the training ground for your greatness. They are the unblemished canvas upon which you paint the blueprint of your day, and by extension, the trajectory of your life. Consider the titan, Thomas Edison. Did he wait for inspiration to strike? Did he snooze his way into invention? No. He lived in the laboratory, a relentless pursuit of knowledge, a disciplined dedication to discovery that defied the clock. He understood that ideas, true innovation, wasn't a sudden gift, but the product of relentless, deliberate effort. And where did that effort begin? Often, in the quiet solitude before dawn. The world tells you to seek comfort, to find ease, to follow the path of least resistance. But true mastery, true fortune, is found on the road less traveled, the one paved with intentional action, starting the moment your feet hit the floor. This isn't about rigid perfection, it's about a rhythm, a deliberate cadence you establish that echoes throughout your entire day. Just one or two simple habits, stacked daily, like carefully placed dominoes, can unleash an avalanche of clarity, a surge of energy, and results that most people only dream of. So, the challenge I lay before you isn't for tomorrow, or for some mythical perfect Monday. It starts now. Today. Rethink the way you wake up. Because if you don't design your morning, life will design one for you. And I promise you, it won't be the one you want. Let's delve into that first hour, that pivotal, untamed segment of your day. The world hasn't quite grabbed you yet. The currents of distraction haven't pulled you under. This isn't merely 60 minutes on the clock. It's a golden window, a sacred space, a choice. How you engage with it will determine whether you lead your life or if your life leads you. The masses don't have a morning. They have an emergency. They roll out of bed late, minds still foggy with dreams, and then they grab their phone as if it were oxygen, diving headfirst into the noise. There's no direction, no intention, just pure, unadulterated reaction. But I give you a new idea, a more potent truth. This first hour is your personal boardroom, your proving ground. It's your advantage. It's your edge. And if you can learn to command that hour, you can command your entire day, and in time, your entire destiny. I learned this profound truth early. Discipline begins before breakfast. This isn't a suggestion. It's a non-negotiable. That initial hour sets the tone. It builds an unstoppable momentum. It whispers to your subconscious mind, "This day belongs to me. I am in control." Think of it like this. The morning is where the CEO of your life, which is you, decides how the rest of the day will unfold. So I ask you, do you walk into that first hour with a meticulously crafted plan, or do you drift into it like a leaf caught in the indifferent wind? Because if you don't seize command of that first hour, the world will. And let me assure you, the world is pushy. It's riddled with urgent texts, relentless notifications, breaking news, sensational drama, and endless distractions. None of it I repeat, none of it is in service of your deepest dreams or your highest purpose. Now, let's get intensely practical. What does mastering this first hour truly mean? It doesn't mean cramming in 20 different things, overwhelming yourself before the sun has even fully risen. No, it means choosing just a few potent disciplines and executing them with unwavering purpose. Here's a suggestion, a starting point for your own personal revolution. Wake up with intention, not anxiety. Sit in silence before the cacophony of the world arrives. Let the stillness be your first conversation. Write down your goals, even if they are the same ones you committed to yesterday. The act of writing is an act of reinforcing, of recarving the grooves of destiny into your mind. Read 10 pages of something that nourishes your mind, not your fears. Fuel your intellect. Expand your perspective. Move your body, even if it's just a few stretches, a short walk, a burst of primal energy. And perhaps most critically, decide who you are going to be today. You don't need perfection in this hour. You need rhythm. You need unwavering commitment. You need relentless consistency. Because when that first hour is imbued with intention, the rest of your day will fall into line like a perfectly trained cohort. But if that first hour is chaos, you will spend the remaining hours desperately trying to recover from your own profound lack of preparation. I have witnessed this pattern unfold in my own life countless times. When I treated my morning like an accident, my results inevitably looked accidental. But when I treated my morning like a sacred ritual, like a solemn ceremony, the rest of my day unfailingly rose to meet that elevated standard. And the most liberating part? It requires only one single decision to begin. Not next week, not after the weekend, not when you feel more motivated. Tomorrow morning, you will rise, and you will seize control of that first hour. You will set the tone. You will implant the intention. You will begin the day like the undisputed leader of your own life, not a passive follower of the world's relentless chaos. Because if you don't master that first hour, sooner or later, life will master you. And I refuse to let that be your story. I demand that your mornings become the launching pad for your unparalleled success, not a weary apology for your failures. Begin here. Master the morning. Master the moment. And with every deliberate dawn, you will find yourself mastering the life you once only dared to dream of. The very fabric of success, my friend, is woven not in grand, sweeping gestures, but in the intricate patterns of your daily schedule. Let me share with you a stark, unyielding truth that fundamentally altered the trajectory of my own life, and it holds the power to reshape yours. Success doesn't show up by surprise. It shows up by schedule. Yes, you heard me correctly. Not by luck. Not by passive wishes whispered into the void. Not even by raw talent alone. Success is not some buried treasure awaiting discovery in the distant future. It is found undeniably in the small, seemingly insignificant blocks of time that most people squander without a second thought, allowing them to dissipate like morning mist. Your calendar, my friend, is not merely a place where you jot down appointments and commitments. It is the very crucible where you forge your future. Now, do not misunderstand my meaning. I am not advocating for cramming your day to the brim with endless to-do lists and the relentless pursuit of hustle culture. No, that is not the game we are playing here. I am speaking of intentional time. Time that is meticulously aligned with the person you are relentlessly striving to become. Because here's the unvarnished truth I have absorbed through years of observation and unwavering pursuit. You cannot expect to cultivate a first-class life with a second-rate, haphazard schedule. Let me pose a direct question, and I urge you to answer it with unflinching honesty. If I were to examine your calendar for the upcoming week, would I discern the visible fingerprints of your deepest dreams etched upon it? Would I perceive dedicated, protected blocks of time allocated for profound reading, for deep, uninterrupted thought, for the focused act of building, for the cultivation of your health, for the nurturing of your most cherished relationships? Or would I instead see a chaotic jumble of mundane errands, endless meetings, mind-numbing scrolling through digital feeds, an abundance of busyness, yet a glaring deficit of genuine, meaningful progress? You see, Success is not some elusive entity buried deep within the future's uncertain embrace. It is cunningly hidden within the minutiae of your daily routine, and more precisely, in the meticulous way you choose to structure your time. Let me impart a single, powerful word: deliberate. The profound distinction between the truly successful and the perennially unsuccessful is not the sheer number of hours they commit. No, it is the deliberateness with which those hours are utilized, invested, and commanded. We are all granted the identical 24 hours in a day. The critical question, the sole differentiator, is who is extracting maximum, unparalleled value from their given 24? The man of scarcity and the man of wealth inhabit the same 24 hours. The undisciplined and the high achiever operate under the exact same clock. The monumental difference? The schedule. Understand this, without equivocation. Your life, its very essence and direction, moves with an unwavering pull toward that which you consistently and intentionally devote your precious time to. Do you yearn to become physically stronger, more resilient? Then schedule your workouts with the same gravity you would a crucial business meeting. Do you aspire to become intellectually sharper, a repository of wisdom? Then schedule your learning, your periods of intense study, as a non-negotiable. Do you crave richer, more profound relationships? Then schedule dedicated time for genuine connection, for deep conversations, for shared experiences. Do you hunger for true, unbridled freedom, financial, personal, spiritual? Then schedule the disciplined actions that will inevitably lead you there. Here's what I recommend, not as an option, but as a mandate for your future. Do not merely exist from memory, passively reacting to whatever the day throws at you. Instead, live from a profound design. Design a day, meticulously, that propels your life unequivocally forward. Design a week that authentically reflects your deepest values, not merely your stress levels. Now, resist the paralyzing urge to achieve absolute perfection on day one. That is not the objective. Start simple. Block out a mere 30 minutes in the morning, a sanctuary solely for you. Allocate 20 minutes to reflect, to synthesize, to plan at night. Give your loftiest goals a consecrated time slot in your calendar, and then protect that slot with the ferocity of a lion defending its young. Protect it as if your future, your very soul, depends upon it. Because it does. Your future, the vibrant, abundant life you envision, is not idly waiting to be discovered like some ancient artifact. It is actively, impatiently waiting to be scheduled. And here, my friend, is the breathtaking, empowering truth. Once you decisively seize control of your schedule, once you become its undisputed master, you immediately cease living like a victim of time's relentless march. Instead, you begin to live vibrantly and purposefully, as the architect of your own magnificent life. So, I urge you, look with unflinching clarity at your day. Examine your week with rigorous honesty. Do not merely fill the hours, invest them. Consciously, deliberately, put success on the calendar, and then show up for those appointments with the conviction that your very life depends upon it. Because it does. Remember this axiom, and let it burn itself into your consciousness. Either you run your schedule, or your schedule, with merciless indifference, will run you. And one of those paths, and only one, leads unequivocally to a life overflowing with purpose, with achievement, with profound meaning. The other, undeniably, leads to a life steeped in the bitter taste of regret. Choose wisely, design deliberately, and schedule the success you passionately declare you want. The whispers of our deepest aspirations, the roar of our ambitious goals, these are often drowned out by the everyday noise. But I tell you, true success isn't something you merely stumble into, like finding a forgotten coin on the street. No, it is something you meticulously, deliberately, and consistently create with your rituals. Now I can almost hear the question forming in your mind. What, precisely, is a ritual, Jim? A ritual, my friend, is more than a mere habit. It is a decision elevated to the sacred, a commitment made holy by unwavering repetition. It is not just what you choose to do. It is what you commit to doing every single day, with an unshakable purpose, with profound meaning, and with crystalline direction. You see, the vast majority of people ardently desire the breathtaking results, yet they stubbornly, almost defiantly, ignore the fundamental rituals that produce them. They crave the six-figure income, but they recoil from the discipline of the early mornings that forge it. They yearn for a strong, vibrant body, yet they sidestep the daily movement, the consistent exertion. They long for profound peace of mind, yet they refuse to embrace the silence, the stillness, the quiet contemplation that cultivates it. But I tell you this, with absolute certainty, your rituals tell the truth. They reveal, with stark honesty, whether you are truly serious about your aspirations or merely engaged in a passive act of wishing. They broadcast, long before any tangible results ever manifest, the precise direction in which your life is inevitably heading. Because what you repeat, consistently and relentlessly, you ultimately become. So, I press this question upon your heart. What are your daily rituals? Those unspoken agreements you make with yourself truly say about you. Do they speak of unwavering discipline or incessant distraction? Do they gently whisper of relentless growth, or do they scream of suffocating stagnation? Do they passionately articulate a life of profound purpose, or do they meekly concede to mere survival? It is not the extraordinary, occasional act that sculpts your destiny. No, it is what you do consistently, day in and day out, when no one is watching, when no one is cheering you on, when no one is even asking. Allow me to offer a simple, yet profoundly illustrative example. Do you genuinely aspire to become a profound reader, a scholar in your chosen field, an individual whose mind is a rich tapestry of wisdom? Then read every single morning. Begin with just 10 pages a day. That, my friend, translates to 300 pages in a single month. Multiply that, and you stand at 3,600 pages in a year. That is not merely reading. That is a radical identity transformation. Do you crave a fit, energetic, resilient body? Then move every single morning. You don't need an hour-long, grueling workout. Start with a mere 15 minutes. Rituals are not primarily about duration. They are about devotion. And here is the secret, the potent alchemy of consistency. At first, you consciously shape your rituals, painstakingly molding them to your will. But over time, with an almost mystical reversal, your rituals begin to shape you. They meticulously build your confidence. They powerfully construct your mindset. They undeniably build the very architecture of your life. You see, your current results are nothing more than a mirror, a reflection, often unflattering, of the rituals you have diligently repeated over time. If you truly desire better, more extraordinary results, do not begin by fixating on the elusive goal. Instead, begin unequivocally with the ritual. So, what is our immediate course of action? We do not attempt to conquer everything at once. We choose a select few immensely powerful things, and we commit to executing them flawlessly every single day without a single excuse, without unnecessary drama, without needing to feel motivated. Because, let this truth echo in your soul, discipline vanquishes motivation every single time. Construct a ritual for your body, a sacred practice that honors its vessel. Build a ritual for your mind, a sanctuary for growth and clarity. Forge a ritual for your spirit, a daily communion with your highest self. Stack those small, consistent wins, and stack them early in the day. Because the way you commence your day, the energy you infuse into its genesis, often becomes the very way you live your entire life. Rituals are how you unmistakably signal to the world, and more importantly, to yourself, that you are serious. Profoundly serious. So, do not merely chase fleeting results. Instead, build the unshakable foundation. And remember, with every fiber of your being, if you truly, desperately want to change your life, do not attempt to change everything. Change your rituals. Start small. Stay fiercely consistent. And then, with an almost magical certainty, watch your results begin to rise like the sun, every single day. Let's confront a deceptively simple, yet monumentally dangerous habit, the snooze button. It appears harmless, doesn't it? What's an extra 10 minutes? You might reason, a fleeting extension of comfort. But let me shatter that illusion for you. Those 10 minutes are not free. You pay a heavy price for them. You pay with the erosion of your momentum, with the subtle decay of your discipline, and ultimately, with the bitter currency of regret. You see, hitting snooze isn't merely a sleep issue. It's a profound mindset issue. It is, unequivocally, your very first decision of the day. And what does that decision silently broadcast to your subconscious and to the universe? It declares, I would rather delay than start. It articulates a preference for comfort over commitment. It chooses later instead of now. And the true tragedy of this seemingly small, lazy habit is that it subtly, insidiously metastasizes into a grand, lazy life. Because the uncompromising truth is this: how you do one thing is, invariably, how you do everything. If you habitually delay the start of your day, you will, with chilling predictability, delay the pursuit of your most cherished dreams. If you commence your day with an act of avoidance, you will, without fail, finish it with a litany of excuses. I challenge your current thinking. What if, instead of defaulting to delay, the first 5 minutes of your day became your most potent, most empowering? What if, instead of hitting the snooze button, you consistently hit the strategy button? Here's the undeniable truth. Your bed is a sanctuary for rest, not a fortress for retreat. And your morning, that pristine canvas, is for action, for bold initiation, not for passive avoidance. You do not need to overhaul your entire life in one fell swoop. You merely need to change that first, foundational decision. Let's decisively replace this insidious, lazy habit with an empowering, winning ritual. Rise from your bed on the very first alarm. Not because you feel like it, not because some external force compels you, but because you, the CEO of your own destiny, declared you would. That, my friend, is the foundational brick upon which unshakable confidence is meticulously built, by consistently keeping promises to yourself, especially when the path is arduous. And then what? Simple, potent actions. Drink a large glass of water to awaken the physical vessel. Move your body, even if it's just a few minutes of stretching, to awaken the mind. Write down your goals, to awaken your profound purpose. Do not check your phone immediately. Do not scroll through endless digital feeds. Do not begin your day immersed in someone else's life. Start unequivocally in yours. This is the precise methodology by which we collectively shift from a state of passive reaction to a posture of powerful creation. From the slumber of snooze to the sharp edge of strategy. Now, I've heard the objections. Some will inevitably declare, Jim, I'm simply not a morning person. And to that, I respond with unwavering conviction. That is not a static label. That is a dynamic pattern. And patterns, let me assure you, can be fundamentally changed. You simply have to desire the transformative outcome more fiercely than you cling to the convenient excuse. You see, every single lazy habit, every insidious tendency to defer can be replaced. But they cannot simply be removed. If you fail to replace them with something superior, something more empowering, they will inevitably return with a relentless tenacity. So, meticulously build a new pattern, a new decision, a new identity. The identity of the kind of person who doesn't hit snooze because life is calling, with an urgency that cannot be ignored. Because purpose is calling, with a clarity that demands action. Because progress, true, undeniable progress, does not wait for your fleeting motivation. Remember this, and let it fuel your resolve. Every single time you hit snooze, you are, with chilling efficiency, training yourself to delay life itself. But every single time you rise with deliberate intention, with a purposeful stride, you are, with equal efficiency, training yourself for profound greatness. So, make the unwavering decision. Not once, but every single morning. No more delays. No more lazy starts. Trade in that insidious snooze button for strategy, for structure, for unwavering self-respect. Because your dreams, those magnificent visions that stir your soul, they are not sleeping in. They are patiently, powerfully waiting for you, just on the other side of the alarm clock's insistent call. Let me ask you a question, and I urge you to consider it with the gravitas it deserves. What are you feeding your mind first thing in the morning? Because just as the body requires fuel, potent and nourishing, so too does the mind. And if you choose to commence your day by ingesting mental junk, by absorbing the lowest common denominator of information, do not, I repeat, do not be surprised when your thoughts become foggy, your attitude wavers and weakens, and your results, predictably, remain stubbornly average. Here is the unvarnished truth. The very first thoughts that enter your mind in the morning invariably shape the quality of your entire day. And the quality of your day, accumulated over time, meticulously sculpts the undeniable quality of your entire life. Now, most people, they wake up and their immediate reflex is to feed their mind with noise. The news cycle, perpetually churning with negativity. The insidious whispers of gossip. The manufactured drama of headlines designed to provoke anxiety. They plunge headlong into the day, already feeling anxious, reactive, and perpetually behind the curve. And then, with an almost bewildered innocence, they wonder why the rest of their day feels like an uphill battle, a relentless struggle against an unseen current. But you who are reading these words, you are here to grow. You are here to construct a life of unparalleled significance. And that profound journey begins, unequivocally, with feeding your mind the right, potent nutrients, first thing in the morning, before the world has a chance to pollute your mental wellspring. Let me lay it out for you, plain and unembellished. You need to study more than you scroll. You need to absorb profound wisdom, to internalize timeless principles, before you allow yourself to be consumed by ephemeral distraction. Because ideas, powerful, transformative ideas, are the very seeds of change. And every single morning presents an unrepeatable opportunity to plant new ones, to cultivate a mental garden that will yield a bountiful harvest. Now, do not succumb to the misconception that I am advocating for a 5-hour session in a hallowed library. No, I am speaking of a mere 15, perhaps 20 minutes. Start small. Stay fiercely consistent. A few pages from a truly valuable book. 10 minutes immersed in an educational podcast that expands your perspective. Listening intently to the voice of a mentor, someone who has already traversed the very terrain you aspire to conquer. Allow your morning to become your personal classroom, a sanctuary for profound growth, not a vortex of crisis. Because every single day, you are presented with a stark choice. You are either actively building your mind, diligently sharpening its keen edge, or you are passively allowing it to become dull, rusty, and irrelevant. And in this complex, rapidly evolving world, a dull mind is not merely a disadvantage. It is a dangerous liability. You possess magnificent dreams to construct, intricate skills to sharpen, limiting thoughts to courageously upgrade. And the mornings, those quiet, uncluttered hours, provide you with the indispensable mental space to accomplish precisely that, long before the clamor of the world begins its insistent knocking. Do you know what profound transformation occurs when you consistently fuel your mind in the morning? You think sharper. Your thoughts possess a newfound clarity, a piercing insight. You act wiser. Your decisions are imbued with a quiet, profound wisdom that transcends mere impulse. You speak with greater articulation, with compelling conviction. You confront the challenges of the day with an unwavering direction, a laser-like focus. Because the more you learn, the more you undeniably can earn, the more you can truly become, and the more meaningfully you can contribute to the world. Now, predictably, some will interject, "Jim, I genuinely don't have the time in the morning." And to that, I respond with an unyielding question. Then do you truly have the time to grow? Listen intently. You make time for what genuinely matters to you. Cut 10 minutes from mindless scrolling on social media. Eliminate 15 minutes from the corrosive habit of complaining. And just like that, you have reclaimed your mind. You have bought back invaluable intellectual real estate. Here's the deal, stark and unembellished. Garbage in, garbage out. Wisdom in, wisdom out. So, with unwavering vigilance, guard the gates of your mind, especially in the sacred hours of the morning. Feed it something strong, something profoundly useful, something undeniably true. Because your life, its elevation or its descent, will ultimately rise or fall to the precise level of your thinking. And your thinking, its quality and its depth, is inextricably shaped by what you choose to study, what you choose to absorb. Begin tomorrow. Place a book by your bedside. Lay a notebook conspicuously on your table. Have an educational podcast on standby. Turn off the pervasive noise of the world and unequivocally turn up the volume on your own profound learning. Because when you strategically fuel your mind early, you lead your day with unassailable power, not with frantic panic. And that, my friend, is the undeniable mark of someone who is meticulously, deliberately building a life on purpose. Remember this profound truth and let it resonate in your very being. Discipline isn't solely a mental construct. It is, fundamentally, a physical one. And when your body moves with deliberate intention, with purposeful energy, your mind, with an almost subservient grace, will inevitably follow its lead. Let me etch that axiom deeper into your consciousness. When your body moves with intention, your mind follows its lead. That is the very reason why truly successful individuals don't merely train their thoughts, diligently cultivating their mindset. They also, with unwavering consistency, train their mornings. They meticulously train their physical energy. They deliberately dictate their own pace for the day. Have you ever keenly observed how some individuals seem to carry an unstoppable momentum throughout their entire day? They are not simply fortunate. They are not endowed with some inherent, unearned specialness. No, they move early. They ignite the engines of their physical being before the world fully awakens, and as a result, that powerful momentum clings to them, propelling them forward with an invisible force. So, what is the crucial takeaway here? The actionable insight that can transform your existence. Build movement, intentional physical motion, into the very fabric of your morning ritual. Walk as you contemplate. Stretch as you reflect on your purpose. Let motion, deliberate and conscious, become the powerful switch that illuminates your entire day. Because the alternative is chillingly simple. You remain still. You remain stuck. You wait for external permission. You stall. You hesitate. And let me tell you, without equivocation, hesitation is the insidious enemy of success. Here is the unvarnished truth. You do not need to feel motivated to move. You need to move with resolute determination, and then, with an almost magical certainty, you will feel motivated. This principle operates flawlessly in every arena of your life. It works in business. It works in your personal growth. It works within the very essence of your spirit. So, tomorrow morning, do not merely wake up in a state of passive consciousness. Instead, rise, stand, move. Shake off the lingering tendrils of sleep. Shake off the insidious doubts that try to cling to you. Shake off yesterday's limitations, its frustrations, its perceived failures, and step with deliberate intent into the powerful current of momentum, one resolute move at a time. Because while movement, physical action, may not be the solitary solution to every challenge, it is, undeniably, how everything truly begins. Movement sparks momentum. Let's illuminate one of the most fundamental, yet tragically overlooked, keys to profound success: movement. Now, I'm not merely speaking of rigorous fitness regimes or punishing workouts or logging 5 miles before the sun even breaches the horizon, though those are commendable pursuits if they serve your purpose. I am speaking of something far more foundational, far more potent: physical motion that unfailingly creates mental momentum. You see, far too many people erroneously attempt to think their way into action. They sit rigidly still, perhaps scrolling passively, overthinking every conceivable scenario, dissecting every potential outcome until paralysis sets in. And then, with genuine bewilderment, they wonder why nothing in their lives is tangibly changing. But here is a timeless principle that I absorbed early in my journey, a truth that has served me unfailingly. You do not wait for energy to arrive. You actively create it. And the swiftest, most potent pathway to ignite that energy is to intentionally move your body. Stretch your limbs. Embark on a brisk walk. Engage in deep, expansive breaths. Execute 10 robust push-ups. March vigorously in place. Step outside for a breath of crisp, clarifying air. You do not require an expensive gymnasium. You require a spark. Because when you initiate physical movement, things invariably shift. The blood begins to flow with renewed vigor. The mind, previously cluttered, becomes remarkably clear. Ideas, often elusive, begin to cascade forth. Confidence, often fragile, quietly rises. Momentum, your silent partner in progress, awakens with a jolt. I refer to this transformative process as activation. And in the morning, before the relentless deluge of emails, before the demands of meetings, before the madness of the world fully engulfs you, you must, as a non-negotiable, activate yourself. Why? Because motion unequivocally defeats stagnation. Because protracted stillness inevitably leads to stiffness, not only in the physical body, but chillingly, in the fluidity of the mind itself. And because the individual who commences their day with a powerful, decisive surge finishes stronger, more resilient, and more triumphant. Now listen closely. You do not need to be extreme in this endeavor. You need to be consistent. A mere few minutes of intentional movement each morning is more than sufficient to ignite the entire system, to set the powerful machinery of your being into motion. The morning, that pristine sliver of time, is a sacred arena for two profoundly powerful forces, gratitude and goals. Let me tell you, unequivocally, how you commence your day fundamentally shapes the very essence of your life. And there are these two indispensable forces, these twin engines, that you must relentlessly feed every single morning. Gratitude, which keeps your heart aligned with abundance, and goals, which keep your mind laser-focused on your desired destination. Most people, they stumble into their day in a state of perpetual survival. They awaken with a gnawing sense of stress, their minds immediately fixating on what is missing, what is wrong, what has not yet manifested in their lives. But here is the stark, unyielding truth. If you initiate your day steeped in a mindset of lack, you will, with chilling predictability, live your entire day trapped within the confines of limitation. If you begin your day with a corrosive habit of complaint, you will carry that toxic mindset like a heavy shroud throughout every waking hour. That is precisely why the initial few minutes of your morning must be a deliberate, conscious act of recalibration of your perspective. It is a sacred time to forcefully remind yourself that you are alive, that you are breathing, that you have been granted yet another shot, another glorious opportunity to rewrite your narrative. So, begin with gratitude. And I am not speaking of vague, perfunctory thank yous. No, I am demanding that you get specific. Be genuinely thankful for your health, even if it is not yet in its perfect state. Be deeply thankful for your family, even if the dynamics are currently challenging. Be profoundly thankful for the myriad opportunities that surround you, even if their precise form is still in the nascent stages of becoming clear. Gratitude, my friend, is a potent training mechanism. It trains your eyes to perceive the abundant good that already exists, and it trains your mind to expect, with unwavering certainty, more of it. But gratitude, while indispensable, is not sufficient in isolation. You also require an unshakable sense of clarity, of unyielding direction, of precise aim. That, precisely, is where your goals become paramount. You see, the morning is the optimal time, the most fertile ground, to powerfully reconnect with the fundamental why that drives you. Why are you undertaking this arduous journey? Why are you laboring with such dedication? Why are you pushing yourself beyond perceived limits? Why are you consistently choosing the arduous path of discipline over the seductive ease of comfort? Write down your goals. Speak them aloud, allowing their vibration to resonate in your core. And do not merely articulate what you desire to acquire. More importantly, articulate who you are becoming in the relentless pursuit of those desires. Do you aspire to achieve profound wealth? Then write, I am becoming a disciplined, sagacious steward of my time, my talents, and my resources. Do you long for a healthier, more vibrant physical existence? Then write, I am becoming an individual who honors this body, this temple, with every conscious choice, every nourishing act. Because goals are not solely about the act of acquisition. They are, at their very core, about the profound act of transformation. And here is the true, liberating secret. Gratitude firmly roots you in the abundant richness of the present moment. Goals powerfully pull you into the expansive, limitless potential of your future. And when you consciously choose to live not with one, but with both of these magnificent forces as your constant companions, you will traverse your day with an unshakable sense of peace and an undeniable surge of power. Now, I anticipate the predictable protestations. Some will inevitably inquire, "Jim, what if I don't feel grateful? What if I don't feel inspired?" And to those individuals, I respond with uncompromising conviction. That is precisely why you engage in the practice. You do not passively wait for the ethereal feeling of thankfulness to descend upon you. You actively practice it with unwavering dedication until the feeling irrevocably manifests. You do not idly wait for a sudden surge of focus. You meticulously write the goals with relentless persistence until clarity undeniably emerges. Discipline first. Emotion follows. This is the unyielding law of transformation. So here is the challenge, delivered with the force of a command. Every single morning, before the world begins its incessant clamor, before the relentless demands of the day even begin to assert themselves, allocate a mere 5 minutes. 3 minutes for profound, specific gratitude. 2 minutes for clear, purposeful goal articulation. Or reverse the allocation. The precise distribution of time is secondary. What truly matters, what holds a transformative power, is that you consciously, deliberately build the habit of direction into the very genesis of your day. Because if you do not consciously decide what matters most to you, what truly resonates with your core being, the day will, with impartial indifference, decide for you. And I promise you, you might not be particularly fond of its arbitrary choices. So, tomorrow morning, wake up with a heart overflowing with gratitude, thankful for what is, in this precise moment. And simultaneously, awaken with a soul profoundly hungry for what could be, for what you are destined to create. Gratitude in one hand, meticulously articulated goals in the other. And that, my friend, is the unmistakable blueprint for a life courageously built on purpose. Let me engrave a phrase into your consciousness, a simple yet profoundly powerful axiom that fundamentally reshaped the course of my own existence. Win the morning, and you win the day. Now I concede this might sound disarmingly simple, almost too elementary to contain such transformative power. But do not, for a single moment, allow its apparent simplicity to deceive you. This, my friend, is one of the most potent disciplines you will ever meticulously build into the very fabric of your being. Why? Because the way you choose to begin, the energy you infuse into your genesis, irrevocably determines how you will continue. And how you consistently continue, with unwavering persistence, ultimately dictates how you will victoriously finish. You see, the average individual merely survives the morning. They awaken in a frenetic rush. They immediately scroll through endless, distracting feeds. They react impulsively to external stimuli. They scramble, perpetually playing catch-up. But the truly successful individual, the person whose life resonates with profound fulfillment, the individual imbued with unshakable discipline, they own the morning. They rise with an unyielding intention. They follow a meticulously crafted pattern. They do not stumble haphazardly into their day. They lead it with a commanding presence. Let me articulate this with absolute clarity. The world, with its incessant demands and distractions, gets undeniably loud, and it gets loud fast. And if you fail to center yourself, to anchor your spirit before the cacophony truly begins, the chaos of the external world will, without fail, attempt to center you. That is precisely why I declare, with absolute conviction, do not merely have a morning, master it. Now, let's dissect this concept. What does winning the morning authentically entail? It certainly does not imply an unattainable perfection. It does not necessitate a rigid, 5-hour routine replete with 10 elaborate steps and artisanal smoothies. No, it signifies a simple, yet profoundly impactful sequence of actions, repeated with unwavering consistency each and every day, designed to achieve three critical outcomes: to render your mind exquisitely clear, to engage your body with vibrant energy, and to focus your spirit on your highest purpose. Here is a blueprint, a foundational guide for your consideration. Wake up early, not because it is a fleeting trend, but because it grants you invaluable space, a sanctuary of time untouched by external demands. Move your body, to activate your dormant energy, to ignite your physical engine. Read something wise, to powerfully fuel your mind with elevating thoughts and expansive perspectives. Reflect or pray, to profoundly center your spirit, to connect with your inner wisdom. Review your goals, to powerfully remind yourself of your fundamental why, the driving force behind your relentless pursuit. Even if you manage to integrate only one or two of these disciplines, you will find yourself dramatically ahead of the vast majority of people who remain trapped in the cycle of reactive living. Because here is what I have painstakingly learned. You do not need to conquer the entirety of your day in one overwhelming surge. You need only to decisively conquer the first hour. Consistently engage in that mastery, day after deliberate day, and the rest of your day will begin to work for you, rather than relentlessly against you. You will find yourself making superior decisions. You will respond to challenges with measured wisdom, rather than reacting impulsively. You will lead your life with an unshakable clarity, rather than succumbing to debilitating confusion. Now, I anticipate the familiar refrain, "Jim, what if I'm simply not a morning person?" And to that, I offer this uncompromising truth. You do not, my friend, have to be a morning person. You must unequivocally become a purpose-driven person. Purpose, in its raw, unadulterated form, is what truly wakes you up. Purpose provides the indispensable structure. Purpose relentlessly pushes you beyond the gravitational pull of the pillow, beyond the seductive whispers of comfort. Because here is the unyielding reality. You are either diligently preparing for the day, consciously laying its foundation, or the day, with its inherent unpredictability, is preparing something entirely for you. And if you are not adequately prepared, if you step into the arena of life without a deliberate strategy, life, with its relentless currents, possesses an uncanny ability to knock you violently off course. But not you. Not anymore. You are now armed with this profound truth. You are going to win the morning. You are going to courageously create a powerful rhythm. You are going to meticulously build unstoppable momentum. And momentum, my friend, is the undeniable secret to all progress, to all achievement, to all profound transformation. Every single day you consciously choose to win the morning, you are meticulously adding another brick to the magnificent edifice of the life you are purposefully building. Every single day you choose to delay, to defer, to surrender to ease, you are, with chilling efficiency, relinquishing your future into the indifferent hands of someone or something else. So begin tomorrow. Do not wait for the elusive perfect mood to descend upon you. Do not wait for a sudden surge of motivation to propel you forward. Instead, win the morning with action, and the rest of your day will, with an almost reverent salute, acknowledge and align with your unwavering discipline. Because in the end, the results, stark and undeniable, do not lie. And the individual who consistently, resolutely wins the morning is the individual who, without question, wins everything that truly matters. Let me impart a piece of advice that will spare you immeasurable frustration and empower you to construct something truly authentic and enduring. Do not copy someone else's routine. Craft your own. You see, genuine, lasting success does not emerge from imitation. It is born from the profound act of intentional creation. You are not placed on this earth to live out someone else's meticulously planned schedule, however impressive it may appear. You are here to construct a life that resonates deeply and uniquely with you, a life that perfectly aligns with your most cherished goals, your core values, your responsibilities, and your natural rhythm. Now, this does not grant you license to forsake all structure. Far from it. It simply means that your structure, your daily operating system, should be custom designed, meticulously tailored to your unique blueprint, rather than blindly adopted from a mass-produced template. Far too many eager individuals fall into the trap of attempting to replicate the seemingly perfect morning routine they observed in a compelling video or read about in an inspiring article. They embark on a misguided quest to awaken at 4 a.m., to meticulously prepare and consume green juice, to relentlessly run 10 miles, to meditate for an arduous hour, and to journal their very soul onto paper. But by day 3, often sooner, they find themselves utterly exhausted, profoundly discouraged, and completely defeated. Why? Because they did not courageously build a routine, they merely borrowed someone else's. Allow me to illuminate the superior path, the more sustainable way. Start small. Start honest. Start with one single step. You do not require a perfect, all-encompassing routine from day one. What you desperately need is a starting point, something profoundly sustainable, endlessly repeatable, intensely real. Ask yourself, with unflinching honesty, what is the one thing I can commit to doing every single morning that would, without question, move my life forward in a meaningful way? Is it the simple act of writing down your goals? Is it a mere 10 minutes of invigorating stretching? Is it the conscious act of reading something that profoundly feeds your mind, that nourishes your spirit? If the answer is yes, then that is precisely where you begin. Start there with unwavering commitment. Because here is the profound secret, the underlying principle of true transformation. Consistency unequivocally triumphs over intensity. One solitary habit, meticulously performed every single day, holds more transformative power than 10 ambitious habits attempted sporadically, once a week. Do not succumb to the monumental task of attempting to revolutionize your entire life in a single morning. Instead, consciously change your direction, and do it with deliberate intention, with unwavering focus. Then, once that initial foundational habit becomes an ingrained, unconscious part of who you are, only then, and not a moment sooner, add one more. Stack them patiently, meticulously, layer by layer, step by deliberate step. That, my friend, is the organic, enduring process by which profound transformation genuinely works. Not in grand, unrealistic leaps, but in the meticulous cultivation of powerful, consistent patterns. Not by overwhelming pressure, but by intelligent, compassionate design. And always remember this: your routine is not a suffocating prison. It is undeniably a dynamic platform. It is a powerful launching pad for unleashed creativity, for crystal clear clarity, and for unwavering personal control. Construct it in a manner that unyieldingly serves your highest purpose, not merely your fleeting pride or superficial image. Now, a crucial warning, delivered with the weight of experience. There will inevitably be days when you falter, when you miss a step, when it feels as though nothing is truly working. Do not, I repeat, do not abandon the entire system in despair. Do not thoughtlessly cast aside the painstakingly built structure. Instead, simply return, recommit, restart. Because the true, enduring power of a routine lies not in its pristine perfection, but in your unwavering ability to return to it, to recommit to its principles, even when life becomes messy, chaotic, and challenging. So here is your definitive course of action. Choose your anchor habit, that single non-negotiable act that will form the bedrock of your morning. Set a specific time for it, and adhere to it rigorously every single day. Keep it exquisitely simple. Build slowly, with patience and foresight. Protect that sacred time, that chosen ritual, as if your entire future depends upon it. Because in a profound and undeniable way, it does. And always remember, with unshakable conviction, that you are not merely designing a fleeting moment or chasing a transient trend. You are meticulously, deliberately designing a life. So, engage in this process on purpose. Infuse it with profound thought. Execute it one deliberate step at a time. Because that precisely is how unshakable confidence is built. That is how relentless consistency is born. And that, my friend, is how success, real, profound, lasting, and utterly sustainable success, is courageously created. One purposeful step, one powerful habit, one deliberate morning at a time. Let me articulate a final, piercing truth, one that holds the power to fundamentally shift the entire trajectory of your existence. The morning isn't magic. It's just priority. That's it. It's not some mystical, ethereal force reserved for the elite, the chosen few. It is not a secret formula whispered only to billionaires at birth, nor is it a superhuman ability you either possess or tragically lack. No, my friend. The morning is simply, undeniably, a reflection of your priorities. If your morning feels chaotic, perpetually rushed, a frantic scramble against the clock, it is not because mornings themselves are inherently flawed or inefficient. It is because your underlying priorities are fundamentally misaligned. They are not genuinely working for you. You see, the most successful individuals on this planet do not all awaken at the exact same hour, with a synchronized, rigid adherence to a universal wake-up time. But they do, universally, awaken on purpose. They do not all engage in the precise same routine, performing identical rituals. But they do, without exception, meticulously carve out dedicated time for what matters most to them before the relentless demands of the day attempt to steal it, to diminish its significance. Because here is the unvarnished truth. If something holds genuine importance for you, if it resonates with your deepest values and aspirations, it unequivocally belongs at the very top of your hierarchy, not relegated to the bottom, to be addressed only if time reluctantly permits. And yet, what is the pervasive habit of the vast majority of people? They relegate their health to the very last priority. They defer their personal growth until later. They postpone the cultivation of their mindset to the periphery of their day. And what inevitably occurs when you perpetually postpone the most critical aspects of your life until the day is already winding down? You become too tired, too easily distracted, too overwhelmed by busyness, too late. So, let me implant a new, empowering mindset into your consciousness. If it matters, schedule it first. Make it the undeniable, non-negotiable genesis of your day. Because if you fail to consciously elevate it to a priority, life, with its relentless, indiscriminate currents, will inevitably relegate it to an afterthought. That is precisely why the morning holds such immense, transformative significance. It is not because it possesses some inherent, mystical magic. It is because it is available. It is untouched, unblemished, unclaimed, largely uninterrupted. And what you choose to do with that pristine window, that sacred first hour, reveals your authentic values more eloquently, more profoundly, than any ambitious goal you meticulously commit to paper. You boldly declare that growth matters to you. Magnificent. Then show me your morning. You affirm that health is paramount. Wonderful. Then show me your morning. You speak with conviction of faith, of focus, of family, of freedom. Then demonstrate, through the undeniable evidence of your schedule, how your daily actions reflect your declared standards. Because talk, my friend, is cheap. It is easy. But calendars, unyielding and impartial, tell the uncompromising truth. And do not, under any circumstance, fall victim to the insidious trap of passively waiting for the elusive perfect morning. There is no such thing as a perfect morning. There is only the resolute decision to seize control of it, to command its unfolding, to imbue it with purpose. Every single day, you are granted a new shot, a fresh opportunity to consciously, deliberately, put first things first. Not someday, in some distant, undefined future, but today. Not eventually, when the stars align, but now. And when you begin to live your life in this manner, with unwavering priority instead of succumbing to overwhelming pressure, you will, with an almost divine certainty, begin to gain undeniable traction in areas where you previously felt hopelessly stuck, paralyzed by inertia. That is not magic, my friend. That is the undeniable manifestation of maturity, of conscious evolution. So, tomorrow morning, do not passively look for a miracle to descend from the heavens. Instead, actively create structure. Make an uncompromising decision about what truly matters, what profoundly resonates with your core being, and then act upon it with resolute conviction before the world begins its incessant demands, coercing you to act upon everything else. Because the most potent, most empowering way to truly own your life is to unapologetically own your morning. And the most powerful way to own your morning is to treat it not like some mystical, ephemeral magic, but like your highest priority, your most sacred commitment. Let me leave you with a final profound thought, one that possesses the audacious power to fundamentally shift the entire course of your life. Make every morning a masterpiece. That is the essence of it. Not perfect, not flawless, not dramatically overwhelming, simply deliberate, intentional, and infused with excellence by design. Because the morning, that sacred dawn, is not merely the chronological start of your day. It is undeniably the foundational bedrock of your entire future. And the way you consciously choose to greet the day, the energy you bring to its genesis, is precisely how you choose to greet your life itself. If you awaken with unwavering discipline, you are actively building an unshakable character, brick by courageous brick. If you rise with crystal-clear purpose, you are meticulously constructing undeniable progress, moving forward with unwavering momentum. If you commence your day with a heart brimming with gratitude and a mind laser-focused on your goals, you are no longer passively waiting for life to change. You are, with profound agency, creating the change yourself. So do not, under any circumstance, allow your mornings to be mere accidents, haphazard occurrences dictated by circumstance. Do not permit them to be rushed, wasted, or utterly forgotten, dissolving into the ether of distraction. Instead, transform them into your undeniable advantage. Let them become your quiet, powerful edge, the secret weapon in your arsenal. Let them be the consecrated space where unshakable confidence is meticulously built, and where your grand vision is powerfully reinforced, etched deeper into your subconscious. Because every truly great life, every magnificent destiny, is meticulously constructed one great day at a time. And every great day without exception begins with a great morning. So, I press this question upon your very soul. What will tomorrow's morning, when it inevitably arrives, truly say about you? Will it whisper, "I'm still tired. I'll try again later," succumbing to the inertia of comfort? Or will it declare, with bold, unwavering conviction, "Today matters, and I am unequivocally ready for it"? You do not, my friend, require more hours in the day. You do not require some elusive, magical formula handed down from ancient masters. You simply require a singular, unyielding commitment to show up for yourself, to honor your own potential before the world, with its relentless, insistent clamor, begins to demand that you show up for everything and everyone else. Wake up with piercing clarity. Move your body with unshakable purpose. Feed your mind with nourishing, elevating truths. Protect your inner peace with fierce vigilance. Set your unwavering intention for the day, for the week, for the life you are building. And relentlessly, consistently, build the magnificent person you were always, truly, unequivocally meant to be. This is your life. This is your morning. This is your chance. Seize it.